Hello, it's Guy Miller, Airport Manager of Pitt Meadows Regional Airport. Wednesday, March 20th, and I'm going to be presenting a briefing on the Pitt Meadows Regional Airport development for the next number of months and the next few years. We've just recently had 4 developments that are approved by the Pitt Meadows Airport Society Board, and I'd just like to review with you how this is going to look. So we're just going to get us in this PowerPoint slideshow, and we're going to move forward with the presentation. So the first slide is just an overview of basically the overall development plan for the airport on the south side of the terminal. So you can see here at the north portion we've got the new main apron, which we're redoing with the little yellow balls there are the lights, the ramp lights that have just been put in here. You can see the cursor move over that. You can see in yellow are the 4 new developments we're talking about. This U-shaped development here by Baines Road, the hangar here, number 230 rebuild, the new terminal building, and then at the bottom of the picture is a new restaurant, Seaplane Terminal. So those are the 4 new builds we'll be talking about today. As well, you can see the green Fly Guy Aviation and Sky Helicopters. Those were approved a number of months ago, and those will be getting underway shortly as well. So regarding the first development, let's talk about the main terminal rebuild and go over the lot. So when you look at the lot overview, it's basically located just south of the main ramp and in the main parking lot entrance as you drive into the airport off Airport Way. So you can see here we have the terminal building that's existing currently, the old tower right here. We have a couple electrical containers, and then the old hangar building here that's been up for a number of years on this lot. This is a schematic or lot survey of that current lot. So basically right now it's broken up into 2 lots, of which the terminal and the fixed base operation hangar will be going on. It's about 5,000 square meters. The hangar building here on the south portion of the west lot is going to be coming down and demolished in the next number of months, and well, eventually there will be a new hangar down the road going in here, smaller hangar for an existing flight school, and the terminal building and the hangar will be in this northern portion of the 2 lots. These are the buildings that will need to be removed. You've got the old tower, and the new tower is already up. The old tower, which is this building here, will be coming down over the next few months. This is the hangar I was referring to in the previous slide that will be coming down in the next few months as well. There are a few electrical containers and electrical hut which have been there forever. They were meant as temporary solutions, and those will need to be moved as well. They power the airfield lighting and a number of things in the existing terminal today. Here's a picture of the terminal building that exists today. You can see that it's pretty well made up of 5 double-wide trailers. They're all portables. They were installed approximately 2 decades ago. They were at that point of time intended to be a temporary solution. They have served the community very well, and they still serve the community well. However, they are past their expiry date for a number of reasons. There's been a number of maintenance issues, roof issues, structure, roof and foundation issues. So they need to be replaced, and it's been on the books to have them replaced for the past 15, 16 years, but we've decided that it's time to pull the trigger and move forward with a good development here for the airport going forward. So the actual lot, this shows a picture of the lot again, and you can see there's this hangar here with an adjoined terminal building to the east. Basically, these 2 buildings have been pushed down into the south portion of the lot. So if you see the lot here, you can see the buildings are pushed down in the bottom portion of this lot. And the reason for that is because the new tower, which is here, has to be able to see over the roof of this building. So the farther out it was blocking certain portions of the ramp. So we've pushed that down into the bottom of that lot. We also have a elevation of about 28 feet. We couldn't go any higher because it was starting to block or interrupt the view of the controller, so it's well below that, and so we've kept it at 28 feet. It will be a pre-engineered 2-story all-glass building. The hangar will be about 10,000 square feet. The terminal will be about 30,000 square feet. It is going to be a private entity building. It will be Pacific Aircraft Services and RDM. As far as the lease lot, it'll be on leased land. So the airport will not own the building. They will own the land, and they will lease that land to the developer. There will be some associated costs to the airport, of which would be the movement of the terminal building, and temporary replacement of the terminal building for the year and a half while the building's being built, movement of electrical bays, and as well as outfitting the new office space in the terminal building. You can see here is a picture of the initial entrance. So it's the main door of the terminal building is lined up exactly down the entrance as you come in off Airport Way. So when you turn north to head up to the parking lot and to the terminal, you'll be looking right at the main entrance, the main door. And you can see there the tower is basically able to see over the highest point of the roof very comfortably to the maneuvering surface north of the actual terminal building. This shows you another parking lot view of the terminal building as you approach the main entrance. We've tried to design a bit more grand entrance, just for some, art, beautification, etc., to make it a bit more visually appealing. You can see it's two-story, all glass all the way around as well. The airside entrance does not have these four columns around the outside. It's more just basically two large glass doors in and off the ramp. You can see here to the left of the terminal building, you have the connected, what we call fixed base operation hangar or executive hangar. It's a walkway, breezeway from the terminal building to that hangar, and that will go up just after the terminal building is built. Here you get the airside view of the terminal building, so you can see the two-floor structure, 30,000 square feet to the left, all glass, and the patio and restaurant, which includes the existing coffee shop. So at this point, we have full intention of having the existing coffee shop move into the terminal building, and they'll have that patio space as well. And then to the right, you can see the hangar, which will be overnight parking of executive aircraft as the need grows for that. I'm going to now see if we can play here a video fly-through video of the terminal building. So I'm going to click that, and you can watch what that looks like. So that's the completion of the fly around. The terminal building basically will be managing mid-size aircraft. We will not be handling large aircraft at all. It's you can see here's a couple pictures that I've taken in the last few months of activity at the terminal. So you can see mid-size business jets, mid-size propeller aircraft, King Airs, Beech 1900s and such, which carry anywhere from kind of aircraft we deal with 6 to 12 passengers. You can see a picture of the terminal building and how it can get pretty full at times with people waiting and baggage, and that's one of the reasons why as well we'd like to expand our facilities and get a new building. So here you have a quick overview. So lot size is about 5,000 square meters. We're going to have a 40,000 square foot building on 2 levels. Estimated value of the building is about $8 million. We anticipate starting the lease here in 2019 with a construction start date of fall 2019 and to hopefully be completed by the end of 2020. As far as the building use, it's basically going to do what it does now, but do it better. So we're going to house our airport administration offices in a newer boardroom and better flight planning facility for airport users and visitors. We'll have an aircrew waiting area for business and general aircraft. We're going to obviously have a public and passenger viewing area and waiting area, for scheduled and charter pickup service. As we have now, most likely be a passenger check-in and possibly a ticketing seating area for certain, and bag pickup as well. There'll be a coffee shop with a patio, and most of the terminal on the upper floor will be office space for aviation-related businesses such as flight schools, aviation supplies, ground classrooms, and anything that we consider value-added benefit to the airport, which would be professional services, support services, or transportation. So I'm now going to take us to the next development, which is a commercial general aviation hangar facility. This is basically located just west of Baines Road near the main entrance, and you can see the lot overview there in yellow, and it comprises two very old hangars, of which the hangar on the right in this location right here, Hangar 210, was recently demolished to make this development possible, and Hangar 220 will be demolished as well, with this front portion, which is newer, probably being moved or added to the current development. It's a 9,000 square meter lot. So you can see this is the first building that was demolished. So you can see that's what it originally looked like. So as you can progress through the pictures, you can see now the lot today. This is the empty lot adjacent to Baines Road, and that would be this building right here. And this one is still due to come down. So you can see this is a very notional outline of what this building is going to look like on that lot. It's a U-shaped, so you have airside access coming down the middle of the U, ground side access all around the outside, and you have parking along the outside as well. And this will be a complete glass exterior, so it'll look quite nice off Baines Road when you're driving by. This is a conceptual layout of the building. It's basically a mixture of small bays for general aviation, as you can see at the bottom, or the eastern portion along Baines Road, and the south portion and some of the western hangars will be larger for small commercial businesses that the developer will hope to populate that complex. The height is about 24 feet, so it's not that high. It's pretty well one story for larger tails of aircraft to get in, especially on the west side. It will be pre-engineered steel as well. It's done by a private entity, Golden Arrow Properties. Much like the terminal building, the airport will not own this building. We lease the land, and the developer will own the building. Our associated costs on this lot are very minimal at this point. Hangar will be about 48,000 square feet and will comprise 13 bays, with a large number of bays having 60-foot doors in them to get some of those pictures I showed you at the terminal with the propeller aircraft, so we could store them in there overnight as necessary. This is a conceptual layout of the new hangar, so you can see here, this portion here is along Baines Road. So Baines Road runs basically east of the building. So the airport fence line is just right where I have the cursor. And the airside comes in through from the north, heading south from the ramp. Here is another picture here where you're looking east now. So Baines Road runs along here, this way here, and we're looking east, which is that direction. And you can see the main axis from ground side is right through here in the western portion of this hangar, and you get onto airside here. So there'll be a gate here, an airside gate, that electric gate that people will use to get on and off airside. Again, this shows you an airside view as a pilot. This is what you'll be seeing coming in and out of the complex. On the ground side, you'll be seeing this side here coming in. So basically, as a final overview of this development, it'll be a commercial GA, or general aviation hangar development, about 9,000 square meter lot with 48,000 square foot building. We're anticipating a value of $6 million with a lease start date in early 2019 and an estimated construction date in phase start date probably sometime by mid-summer 2019, and to be completed in phases. Building use will be primarily aircraft hangar storage, aircraft maintenance, repair and overhaul, aircraft approved maintenance organizations, commercial aviation related businesses. We'd like to put some existing flying schools in there as well. So, as I said prior to this, a mixture of general aviation storage and commercial use is what we're looking for in this complex. So we're going to move on to the third one, is another commercial hangar facility, a rebuild. So you can see here, in yellow is a lot which we'll be building on. So this entire lot again will be removed. All the buildings and the equipment and articles on that lot will be taken off, so that the builder will have room to build a development. The lot itself is 6,000 square meters, and you can see that this hangar 230 right here basically is going to come down. There's some other hangars here in the south portion of the lot which are going to come down. All the articles will be removed. There's a very good chance this company will move to the north side. We're in discussions as a possibility to relocate a portion of its business to the north side of the airport. Currently, this is what's on the lot, so you can get a good idea of the age of the buildings, and a lot of them have served their purpose very well over the years, but they've reached their shelf life, and it's time now to take the next step and build some new structures. So our intent is to clean this all up and prepare the lot for that future development. So when it's all cleaned up, you can see you're going to have a big black square, empty square, and the intention is to not change the current taxi lane that comes down. That's the first taxi lane you see as you come into the airport, and the intent is to make that whole area a commercial area without the mixture of general aviation. So when one comes down this ramp, off the ramp on this taxi lane, basically on both left and right sides, it's all commercial businesses. So you'll have 4 hangar bays, large bays here. They'll be pre-engineered steel. Again, it's a private equity financing. We will not own the hangars. We as an airport authority will lease the land. It will be built by, again, Pacific Aircraft Services and RDM. There are very minimal associated costs at this point with this structure as well. Each bay will be about 6,800 square feet with 60-foot doors in it, so you'll have 4 bays. That allows us to get some small to medium-sized businesses in there, and that's the full intent of this build-out. The heights will be around 28 feet, 27 feet, similar to the terminal building as well. That's what the conceptual is going to look like. Again, this is just to the east of the new terminal building, so it'll be a very nice addition to the airport going forward in the commercial area. And you can see how it relates to the terminal building. Terminal building's here, and then right next door is a new build-out. As a quick overview, 30,000 square foot hangar space here on a 6,000 square meter lot, $4 million estimated building value. Hoping to start the lease in the very near future, in the next few months, and get the construction going this summer. The building use will be primarily aircraft hangar storage and commercial activity, aircraft maintenance, repair, overhaul, approved maintenance organizations, and any commercial aviation related business is what we're looking for in these larger hangars. So I'm going to go to the final development, the restaurant Seaplane Terminal facility. Here's an overview of the lot. So to get your bearings straight, here's the terminal building up here at the top of the image, and as you come south through the parking lot and down to the dike, which is right here. Dike runs along this cursor. Just to the south of that on the waterfront is the actual new lot for the terminal building, approximately 6,000 square meters. Again, much like the other 3 developments, it's a private entity, a private equity investment in this build-out. We are leasing the land as an airport authority. Associated costs are definitely a bit more involved here, because we will be required as an airport to make the initial preparations for that site. So there'll be some landfill requirements and some entrance requirements that we'll have to look after, which we are investigating at this time. There's a quick rendering and conceptual of the Seaplane Terminal. The same company owns Flying Beaver restaurant and Seaplane Terminal down at YVR Airport. This company here is GME Global Management. They've managed to secure a letter of intent from Harbour Air in the terminal portion of this seaplane terminal. Harbour Air, as everyone knows, flies out of this airport once a day to Victoria and back on a scheduled service. You can see here's a west wall elevation of the seaplane terminal and a south wall elevation looking at the front, at the bottom here, looking at the front of the building. So the terminal on the left, restaurant, the the Thirsty Goose on the right, and we'll have Harbour Air in the terminal building. That's a east and north wall elevation and how the building will be looking. The actual restaurant terminal will be nestled in the Fraser River in Pitt Meadows. Its building is going to reflect its surroundings. It's going to incorporate nature and each of its design features within the interior and exterior. They're working very hard and striving to use green and natural materials in all aspects of this West Coast modern building. They're going to have various walkways bordered by foliage, bicycle and horse parking, and communal seating areas, which will invite all patrons to experience the unique space for years to come. So you can see here on the right side, they're going to be using solar panels, living walls and roofs, cedar planters, gray stone, cedar planking, and you can see some of the images of what the intent of the inside of the building is to look like. It's going to be quite a large area around the building. This is the building here that I'm circling with a cursor, but you can see there'll be a parking lot. There'll be the covered bicycle parking, as well as some tree planters, walkways, some horse stalls as well, and then there'll be access to the full plane dock. So now basically passengers come in and they have to take a bus from the main terminal down to the water. Here you'll be right on the water and you'll be able to walk and have your bags trolleyed to the aircraft right from the restaurant terminal, much like you see at Victoria or Vancouver. There's some more imaging of the inside of the restaurant that the developer has created for us, and the outside as well. You can see the seating areas and what they're planning for the walkway benches as well. Keep in mind this whole building is just slightly south of the current dock, where hundreds of people walk and ride their bicycles on a daily basis. So will be a very good addition to that portion of the walkway. So as a quick overview, the restaurant Seaplane Terminal, GME Global Management is the company building it. Lot size about 6,000 square meters. Building size about 6,000 square feet, 2 levels. Estimated value of $3 to $4 million. We're hoping the lease will start shortly in 2019 with an estimated construction start somewhere between 2019 and 2020, depending on what fill requirements and studies are required for the foreshore prior to getting going on that development. The building use will be waterfront restaurant and lounge, obviously a lunch and dinner service, and it'll also house a current scheduled service Harbour Air, their flight crew planning area, briefing area, their staging area for the ground crew, and passenger check-in, waiting area, ticketing, and bags. So that is the overview of the 4 developments. Now I'd just like to walk through a few issues on community impact, economic impact, and environmental impact. So these 4 developments basically impact the community the following ways. It certainly allows the airport to remove a time-worn and depleted building infrastructure, which has been up for the past 5 decades, and allows us to reconstruct new, updated buildings and infrastructure that meet the current safety codes of the day. It also allows us, in so doing, to really improve airport appearance, which follows through to the community as well, and gives us, when we get to the terminal building and the restaurant and the office space and the businesses that we'll get in, certainly provide more community services and airport services. It's going to increase commercial hangarage available, and same with the private general aviation hangarage available. And we will, as I've mentioned, get increased office space at the airport. As far as the economic impact, City of Pitt Meadows will receive an increase in tax revenue from these 4 build-outs. The airport will receive an increase in lease revenue. Certainly going to have a direct and indirect impact on local job creation. Certainly when you look at the commercial hangars that we're building, we're hoping to populate those hangars with businesses that provide good high-tech jobs, good wages for members of the communities of Maple Ridge and Pitt Meadows. I think we're going to see new and improved infrastructure with these 4 developments, and that's going to increase our marketability and our suitability for other companies that would be interested in relocating or locating their aviation entities into the region and into perhaps our airport. So it should allow us to attract new aerospace business. It also improves on-airport business synergy. A lot of these businesses do work amongst one another, and they move aircraft and helicopters and goods and services back between one another. So there'll be an increase in synergy as we build out the commercial footprint on the airport. As far as the environmental impact goes, there should be no noise increase or movements of aircraft. A movement of an aircraft is considered a takeoff or landing. All of these buildings basically are a demolition of an existing building and a replacement of a newer building. A lot of the commercial space that we're building will really not impact the flying movements or the volume that occurs at this airport. We're hoping to increase the number of jobs and number of high-tech businesses at this airport. As far as the waterfront development goes, there's been some questions on that. Basically, we'll be going out to third-party contractors and developers to make sure all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted with regards to all the requirements with Metro Vancouver and any other regulatory authorities to ensure that we're abiding by all the requirements prior to developing that portion of the airport. So this concludes the session for today. I hope you enjoyed that short briefing on the 4 main projects. If you have any questions, please do call myself, Guy Miller, at the Pitt Meadows Regional Airport. Thanks, Guy.